Welcome to day number 116 of At Home Fitness with Coach A. It is Thursday, July 19th, and here in Cleveland, we have a hot one for you today. So, we're gonna go outside. I'm gonna set this up so that you guys can get in the shade for most of the work, do a little run, if that's gonna be in the programming for you, get back in that shade again and try and stay in that shade as much as possible, whether that is like me in the garage gym, with a fan, or even running in your front door and doing it in the living room. So let's get to what we have today. There's three pieces. They're all going to kind of follow in sequence with each other. The first one is going to be a max effort plank hold, preferably on the hands. Okay, I understand there's probably a performance difference for some of you guys in that you can go longer on the forearms, but for what we have coming after it, let's go on the hands, and if we have to come down, we have to come down. Now, immediately following that, I have written as a 3-minute rest, okay? If you can plank hold for more than 2 minutes, and technically closer to 3 minutes, then I want you to take a 3-minute rest. If you're under that time on your plank hold, then I want you to take a 2-minute rest. All right, I don't want to get very far past a 1-to-1 work to rest ratio there, okay? Once we get that rest in, we're going into a 15-minute alternating EMOM, all right? First minute is going to be 16 total dumbbell push press, all right? In a minute, I'll walk you guys through the workout. I am writing it for dumbbells, 2 of them, okay? But I will also walk you through modifications and how to adjust that to something else. 16 dumbbell plank row on the second minute. By the way, the RX weight on this is 53.35. We're gonna run out away from said shade for a minute and come back to said shade on that second minute in that order there, before having a full minute rest before you go back to the dumbbell push press. Now, 15 minutes, 5 different pieces. It's gonna be 3 rounds each, okay? So 3 by 16, and then 3 of the 2-minute essentially run. Now, if you have done everything else this week and your legs are pretty much smoked, they're pretty tired, then I want you to take this minute run out, minute run back, and I want you to either make it a dumbbell hold, meaning a single arm standing suitcase hold the first minute, switch sides the second minute, or a carry. Same thing, single arm, you're gonna walk out for a minute, and then you're gonna walk back for a minute with the other arm, okay? In which case, keep the same weight. Don't worry if it's lighter. If you guys have heavier weight and you want to go with heavier weight, that's fine. But a minute of carrying is going to be pretty decently challenging, especially with the heat we have going on today. All right, so again, if you need to modify that out, because the legs are pretty beat up, don't make it worse, especially with the fatigue that the heat is going to create. Just turn that into a carry and let's go from there. All right, it'll give you a little more shoulder work on top of that. Now, once you get to your 15th minute, I want you to take that minute rest, okay? Don't just turn the clock off and go from there. Take the minute rest, and as soon as that minute rest is over, we're finishing with a max effort hollow hold, okay? So max effort plank hold, max effort hollow hold at the end, which I'll demonstrate in a second. So stick around and we will go through everything. Little something added in today. There is a movement in the warm-up that I want to make sure I go over. Things you guys have done before if you've been following the At Home Fitness series, but they're technically combining 2 movements, so I want to make sure we talk about this so nobody's messing it up. It is the Scap push-up to full push-up, okay? So the Scap push-up is something we have done where I'm going to do this on the bench and elevate my hands so it's easier for you guys to see my shoulders, but this obviously can also be done on the ground. So a Scap push-up where I'm going to let my chest fall towards my hands, pinch my shoulder blades back together as far as I can, and then press through the shoulders, rounding them off at the top. So essentially I'm trying to get as much range of motion through my Scap as I can without actually bending my elbows and doing anything with my arms. Now, when I combine these 2 movements, a regular push-up and the Scap push-up, what I'm essentially going to do is start in that overextended Scap position. I'm going to sink down into the shoulder blades, go into the push-up, and then press myself into the over-rotated position. So full extension, pinching back, sinking down into the push-up, and then I'm rounding myself back off again. Take your time, it's only 10, it's only 2 rounds. Let's get some shoulder movement, let's get some healthy shoulders, and get ready for the workout. Just talked about, we're starting with the max effort plank hold. I like to see it on the hands, making sure that the hands are underneath the shoulders, not out in front under the face. Legs are nice and straight, feet generally together, back is flat, either parallel to the floor or in a straight line with your hips and legs, but somewhere in that range, not outside that range. Now, once I finish that, I'm gonna have my quick little rest. That's gonna be about 1 to 1 or a max of 3 minutes. And then I'm gonna grab my dumbbells for the 16 push press. Remember, when we're doing those push press, I wanna make sure that I am dipping with the knees, bending them, heels, butt, punch, all right? Think of this as much of a hip lift as it is an actual shoulder or overhead lift, okay? So 16 of those. If you guys need to modify that with a single dumbbell, it is technically set up so that it can be 8 and 8, or it can be pushed upwards of the full minute. If we need to modify that with a or multiple kettlebells, it's the same thing, just in a slightly different position on the shoulders and on the wrist. If it's going to be a barbell, the reps can stay the same. The timing context is pretty much going to be the same. The weight is probably something in the range of 115 to 135 for the guys, and then 85 to 95 for the ladies. Okay. If we're going with a band or something that's really light, much lighter than what was been programmed, I want you guys to try and do a time work ratio, in which case you want to work for about 30 to 40 seconds and get 20 to upwards at the max 30 seconds rest on the push press minute and then on the row minute. Okay, so dumbbell plank row, I'm going to demonstrate with one. If I had two, obviously the other hand would just be on the plank or on the dumbbell, holding my plank position. I do not care today if you guys alternate or not, mostly out of the respect for time. So if we're going to do a single dumbbell or a single kettlebell, remember if we're doing the kettlebell, we're just propping ourselves up on a bench, elevating the down hand so we have more space. But generally speaking, it's the same thing. I can either do all 8 with this arm, or I can pass off one and alternate to the other arm and go from there. Okay. If we are looking at a barbell and only a barbell, technically I could row some of the plates I have if I prop my hand up on a bench, same way I would do it with a kettlebell. Or we can do it with the barbell, in which case I'd like you guys to try, if you had practiced this on Monday as a strength, that RDL, single leg RDL row with the barbell from there. Okay, it's going to create some instability. It's going to give you the core work we're looking for, generally speaking, out of the plank position. Now remember, if you're doing the band for the plank row, we're tossing ourselves in a side plank position, anchoring the band, and pulling into that row while stabilizing and holding that side plank. If we don't want to run, we want to put any other cardio component in there. It's super simple. Since we're going for time, we're just going for time, okay? So anything that's not leaving the house or leaving our shade, so to speak, is just going to be 2 minutes before that minute rest at the end. Now after that, we're looking at our hollow position, okay? On the hold, a couple of things I'm looking for here, especially as we start to break down, is that the lower back is completely in contact with the ground, upper abdomen engaged, so shoulders are not, quads tight, toes pointed together, elbows straight, hands somewhere behind the head, okay? If the elbows are straight, the shoulders are going to be an extension, so even if they are a little bit forward, not necessarily in a smooth hollow position, they're still going to be adding that weight and difficulty to the core, all right? So again, plank, rest, 15-minute alternating EMOM, and then our hollow rock.